Sequence is one of the key parts when it comes to editing your video. As a video editor, you should know how sequence work, and you should know that without sequence your timeline won't function. So for you to proceed editing, you have to create sequence. So you can learn from our previous lesson when we were creating a new project that you can give your sequence a name. You can do that, but in case you didn't do that, we are going to create sequence from scratch. So for you to do that, let's switch our panel back to editing. And I believe when you get to panel, which is the next category of lesson, you understand how to do that. So we've switched our panel back to editing. Now I want to create sequence from this video, which is in camera 2. So to do that, I can create sequence by going to File, New, and then Sequence. If I do that, a panel will pop up, and then I can give a sequence name, and then do some few settings, how I want my sequence. If it's NTSC, there's a whole lot of them, DVPAL, HDV 720p, 1080p, 1080i. If you know all these settings, there's 4K, there's 2K, there's UHD. If you know all these settings and then you can do that, that's great. You can go ahead. If you want to learn it, you can learn advanced how to change all these settings to fit, or you can customize your sequence. But for the purpose of this training, we are going to look at how to create sequence that fits your video. So some of the cameras may come with its own sequence because you record the video in landscape. So you recording the videos in landscape, the video comes with its own aspect ratio and that of resolution. And because of that, we can create sequence using that same video file that came from your camera or even from your phone. So to do that, we have this video in our project tab from our bin that we created from our previous lesson. So for us to do that, we are going to create sequence from this video. So to do that, you right click on your mouse pad on your key on your laptop, and then you go to new sequence from clip. The moment you select that, Adobe Premiere Pro is going to create a new sequence for you as an editor from the clip you selected. So you don't need to set the aspect ratio that has to do with the width and the height of your video. And then if it doesn't fit, you go and reset it and set it again till you get it perfect. But with this, you can create sequence with the video file you've already recorded. So now you can see we have our sequence, and you can see the sequence is now on our timeline, and then the outcome is being showed on our program monitor. So now we have our sequence, but for you to identify what sequence is, you should know how the icon look like on the project tab. So the moment you create sequence, it creates a file on your project tab or in your bin or wherever you created the sequence from. So you can see we have our sequence here, and then this shows that there's video and audio aspect of this file. So now we have our sequence. We have to put our mouse on the number or the title or the attribute of the video. We double click, and then we can rename our sequence to Market Women. So the moment we click any part of it, you see that Market Women has changed here as well. That means you'll be able to give our sequence a name. So anytime we save this project and we come back, we can look for the sequence, and then the moment we double click on the sequence, we can proceed and continue with editing our video. But the moment you delete this sequence, you can see that video is gone, and then on our timeline it has shifted to some previous sequence that we have. So for you to create sequence, you need to create it from your media file so that you get your aspect ratio and your resolution perfect, and the frame will be fit. But if you want to customize it too, you can look at that as well. But that's how we create sequence for our videos. For you to do the custom one, you can also use your mouse by right clicking. You go to new item, and then you can create sequence from here. It's the same thing as going to file, new, and then you select sequence. So that's how you successfully create sequence as a video editor to be able to start editing your project. So this is active because a sequence was created. So for you to be able to proceed using your timeline, you need a sequence. A timeline is the same as sequence. Without sequence, your timeline can't function. And then I've explained details of that in our next project that has to do with Adobe Premiere Pro interface timeline, and then you will understand it better. So for you to proceed, you need sequence.